Hello everybody, welcome to the Crochet Lovers Crochet Podcast episode number 3. Okay, so I have a lot to say for this intro. I am giving you a long overdue podcast and apology, and I apologize for that. So let me give you a little backstory behind this. I have been keeping a little bit of an update on Instagram, but it's been kind of hard for me since I was on vacation, and I was on vacation all last week in the Hatteras Island, Outer Banks, North Carolina, which was amazing. And so I didn't really get a lot of crocheting done because I was, enjoying my vacation. And so yeah, I didn't get a chance to update that well either because the Wi-Fi there was pretty bad. And that's all I have to really say crochet-wise about the trip. If I do have anything else to say, I will say it later on though. And then, I promise, I recorded an hour-long podcast, and my microphone wasn't turned on. I don't know what happened, but it made me super upset because I was super proud of that podcast too, because I was having a blast recording it. It was so much fun. I was just talking to you guys like you were in front of me, and which you are. I consider you in front of me, and instead of like talking to a screen, so that was pretty cool. So yeah. So this podcast will be in, how do I say this? It'll be separated into sections instead of just the finished objects and works in progresses, just because I did realize that I did learn something from the first time I recorded, from the podcast I recorded, that didn't turn out. I have so many finished objects this podcast because because last time I saw you it was like 3 weeks, so that's all my fault, and I'm gonna try to keep an update like pow. So because now I actually got a good camera, my laptop, so yeah, and I'm gonna try to get some editing. I'm gonna do some editing instead of just putting it straight onto YouTube, which is good because I am good at editing. And no, I'm not gonna say good, but I'm moderate. Okay, anyway, let's not talk about my computer skills because I am much better at crochet and yarn. Okay. So the section number 1 is gonna be there's a lot of new sections. Okay. Oh wait. I remember I was talking about how the last podcast, I remember myself, I had a lot of things I messed up. That's why I organized it into different sections. That would be a lot more smooth running instead of like, oh yeah, here's another one, I'm going to add it to this pile. That way it's all a big pile right here and just put it there. So, yeah. Okay, now let me go back to what I was saying. I went on too fast. I was thinking ahead of myself. This section of the podcast won't even take a minute. Well, I'm sure it'll take a minute. Just because I know that Nadia from Yarn Utopia does this, and if you don't want to watch this, then you can skip past this part. But I never paint my nails, and you can tell they're painted. So I wanted to jazz them up for the podcast. So I'm going to show you what nail polish I'm wearing. And it's not like yarn where I'm going to be telling you like all the ingredients in it, because no way. So let's just look at it real quick. This is where are my fingers? A teal with with sparkles. I don't know, you can't really see it, and that's probably a good thing because I'm not so good at it. But I use Funky Fingers for the base color, and the color Berserk Turk. I got that at Five Below. The sparkles, I use the Sinful Colors Pinky Glitter. If you're like a nail polish person and you're like, she is like so unenthused at this, it's because I am so unenthused at this. Like, be real here. And then, like, to add to the top coat, anyway, I just use Nuance Soma Haki Ultra Shine top coat. And I mean, I have a base coat too, but I didn't want to use the base coat. See, that did not even take a minute, and I am so glad that torture is over. So sorry I put you through that. Okay, so let's talk about this wonderful background first. This is a knitted blanket, and I did not make this because I am not that talented. But, my grandpa, he is a veteran, and my great-grandpa, yeah, he's a veteran, and the VA, I think, gave him this blanket, this lap blanket, and he didn't want it, and so he gave it to my mom, and my mom gave it to me because it's yarn. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and it has been well used. Sorry, there's a little stuff in there. I should probably wash it. So yeah, and you'll probably see this in a lot of backgrounds. So that's really cool. And for my vacation, I'm sure you want to hear a lot about that. I will have a whole video about that just because I don't want to interfere with the podcast. Okay, now let's bring back a segment from podcast number 1. It's what am I wearing? Yeah. Okay, so I am always wearing hats. Everyone has their like thing that they make. I make hats. But the ironic thing is, I didn't make this hat. Someone else did or something. And this hat's actually inside out. Just because it has like feathers and fur on the outside. I'm not a big fan of that, so I just keep it inside out. It's this like neon green. I don't know, it's this lime green, which kind of looks neon if it's in the right sunlight. I can't tell you what stitch this is because I don't know. It's hard to tell when it's inside out. Oh, it looks like a tile stitch maybe. I don't know, and then there's the border. Yeah. Okay, so let's just stop talking about that. Segment, another segment. This one's called Just for Fun. And this one has a funny story behind it. I wanted something to crochet, and because this was the day before, this was the day we were leaving for vacation, and so all my crochet stuff was packed up, and it was in the car already, and I didn't want to unpack it. So I sorted through my stash, and I grabbed a Tunisian crochet hook, and I grabbed a skein of yarn, and I said, okay, let's try it. So I think this is called Tunisian simple stitch, the irregular Tunisian crochet. Like, so what I'm doing is like it's every 2 now. I don't know, this is my first like actual Tunisian crochet thing, and so I'm very slow at this. But But the funny thing is though, I hold this like I hold a knife. And that's how most people hold their crochet hooks. But that's not how I hold my crochet hook though. I hold my crochet hook like this. And you can tell I'm like holding onto the yarn right now, which is why I find it easier to hold it like this when I'm doing Tunisian. So I find that very interesting. And if you hold your hook, wait a minute, let me finish this one. If you hold your hook like this, let me know. Because I think I'm the only person who, like 1 out of like 5 people maybe, who crochets like this. Like holds their hook like this. My dad, he writes like that. I don't write like that. I don't know what that is. But, yeah. And for this, if this doesn't turn on me, I might make it a 2-part hat, like 2-panel hat. Like this is a panel, and then I'll make another one the same side. Then I'll attach them together. Excuse me. Oh, by the way, this is a 5.5 millimeter Tunisian crochet. And this yarn, I should have mentioned that. Oh my goodness, I am off track today. Okay. In my little fancy pencil case, I do have all of the yarn labels I will be needing for this podcast. So let's find it. This is the Red Heart with Love metallic in the color Fruity Print. It took a while, but I got it. Fruity Print. And this is 152 yards. Not 100. 99% acrylic, 1% other fibers, which is probably the metallic. And yeah. I'm so sorry, I forgot about that. Okay. Now that I'm like into the piece, I think I got it. Okay. Oh wait, I'm throwing things onto the bed now. Okay, that is all for just for fun. Now it's time for orders. And note cards are my friend, by the way. I love note cards. So this stuff is all for orders. And these are both work in progresses still. Let's see this. Okay. I should probably talk. Oh my goodness. Okay. So my cousin, his girlfriend, well, I don't know who this is for exactly, but he asked me if I could make him a girl baby blanket, and a pillow. And I said, sure, why not? Because your family. Like, I don't know who the heck this is going to, but I'll make it. So, I'm making him a girl pillow, and I'll show you that in a minute, but let's show you the blanket first. This is a corner-to-corner blanket. And, this is like leftovers from what I brought on with me to vacation. That's why it's only so small. So, I'm like, okay, to start it, might as well, right? So, there's that, and then the pillow is right here. I am using Red Heart Lavender. This is basically a Scrapbuster project. This is like leftover what I had in my stash. So this is Lavender by Red Heart. And I don't have the label for that, but I do have the label for the main color though. Oh, by the way, these are the colors for the pillow, and the color for the blanket, I don't have with me right now. But the color for the pillow right here is, I love this yarn, in the color soft pink. And this is what I have so far. I'm doing moss stitch. So let's put it up close now. I have a couple rows in it. Not a couple. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rows. And I'm not quite sure. What is that being noise? I'm not quite sure when I'm going to add the purple in. But, yeah, I will add it in sometime. I'm thinking of adding a, family, a purple stripe in the center of it. But yeah. So the pillow is my main priority. The blanket, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get the blanket done or not. Just because I don't really know this person, and the pillow I know is for himself. I mean, like, he's going to be using the pillow as well as the baby, but he's not going to be using the baby blanket. So I don't know. I feel bad, but I don't at the same time because I don't even know this person. So we'll see what happens. But knowing me, I'm going to be super nice. So I'm going to make the blanket anyway. Throw it across the room. Okay. So now we're going to be talking about what happened. Something that happened in the very first episode. And it was vacant in the second episode. And the third episode is coming back. And if you have watched the first episode, you are probably, I doubt you asked yourself this, but I would have asked myself this if I was in your place. What happened to those baby blankets? Well, those big blankets are right here, and there's a lot of progress done. I was having trouble showing up the mini pillow, and I'm definitely going to have trouble showing up some blankets on here. So I'm going to show you what I can, and I'm going to try to insert a picture clip of what it looks like. So this is the corner to corner blanket, and I use this. This is with funny print, and do I have it with me? No, I don't have it with me. Okay, that's fine. This is using Bernet's Baby. Ooh, what's it called? Baby Sport, and the blue, green, white is in the color Bunny Print, and the white is called White. And this is a corner to corner blanket. And this is how far I have. You see, that's like best I can get. So I'm going to say that I should have put a stitch marker on, but I'm going to say that the very first episode, I was at right here, at this weight. So I think I was right here. So then if we fold this back, this is how much I got done. That's quite a lot, actually, if you put it all together. So I did weave in a lot of ends, which was a pain in the butt. Weaving in ends is always a pain in the butt. But I did come up with a saying, though. With pretty work comes plenty of ends. I don't know what it was called. Something on the behalf of beautiful fabric and lots of ends to come with that. This is water, by the way. So I'm not even gonna bother being like, here you go, this is how much I have. So I will definitely put a picture because I know this is super cute. So is this one. This is the blue blanket. This is another baby blanket using the tile stitch from Michaels. And Mikey from the Crochet Crowd did a tutorial on this. And this is my go-to blanket stitch. And this was my go-to blanket stitch, but now it's corner to corner. And I did put a stitch marker. So this was how far I was last episode. I'm just going to go by tiles, because technically after a tile it's another row where you make the gap to go in between. So I'm just going to go by tile. So I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was 8 tiles in. And this is how much I got done, which adds a whole lot more to the blanket. And so I added on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more rows to the blanket. So I have a total of 16 rows. And I guesstimated that if I made 6 more rows, if I added 6 more rows onto this, then it should be about done, which is so thankful to hear. Because I was so worried that I made this blanket super big, like super long on accident. I'm like, oh boy. So, yeah. And this is also using the Burnett Super Saver. I mean, Burnett Baby Sport. This is weight 3. Like both of these baby blankets are weight 3, so I have no idea what this one's called because I lost the wrapper for it. And I have a big stack of wrappers. Like, let me show you this. Okay, so this, the 2 wrappers I showed you, and the wrappers in here. So, and these are going to be showing you today, are all my yarn wrappers, and I cannot find it at all. So I have no idea where in the world those are at. But anyway, we should be fine with that. Okay, so let's go back to those blankets real quick. I did bring them both on vacation with me. And instead of bringing the big, they come in like 800 yards to 1,000 yard balls. Don't have them with me right now. So that was when I just said to myself, okay, I'm not bringing 3 of those with me because I needed 3 of them for both the blankets. So I went to myself, okay, for the blue blanket, the tile one, I'm just going to bring that whole skein because I'm not even going to estimate how much of a ball I'm going to need. For the other ones, that's okay. I'm making a ball. So I made a ball. I made 2 balls. And in my vacation video, you'll see the actual size of the balls. And this is what they look like now. So this is the white, and this is the funny print. And this is not even close for another section. And I'm sure I could have just added on until I ran out, but I didn't want to do that. Okay. Now let's see what the next segment is. My favorite segment is the charity segment. Yay. Okay. I don't know if I should be calling these segments or what. You will not believe this. These are all finished objects. And these are all going to charity as well. My goodness, I'm so happy. Okay. There we go. Oh, wait. There's one more. Just a follow. Okay. These. Oh, my goodness. This makes me so happy. I'm not even going to count. Okay, so. Top to bottom. Okay, so. Top to bottom. The car ride. Okay, so let's talk about the yarn. I brought 2 of the landscapes with me. One was Apple Orchard, and the other one was Blooming Blossom, or something on that behalf. So I just crocheted this one. This is the farthest I've got. This is, how many yards is this? I said this a billion times. I've said this a billion times, and I still can't get it right. It's right in front of my face too. 147 yards. Okay, and this is how much I have left. Okay, so this was going to be a hat using the puff stitch, and it did not turn out very well. It was just an experiment, and an experiment that's going to charity, because it's now a little bag, and it's so cute, and I of course have to weave in the dang ends, but yeah. And I really hate this yarn to work with, but it is super flat. The finished object is flat, which is perfect for the Operation Christmas Child boxes though, because you want to fit as many supplies, like as many items as you can inside the box without it being bulging. You want it to be thin items. So this is, I find it like a good deal. So item number 1, a bag. And that same ball of yarn, I made a hat, and this is a child's hat. This won't fit a teen, no way. So, number 2. Okay, I'm sorry, this is knitted. I knitted up, I knitted part 1 out of 2 of a hat. So this is what it looks like. This is just a very long tail. Don't mind that long tail. And I'm not going to go full on into details with this, mainly because you're going to be seeing this again in this podcast. But this is a, let me pull it out. I should have this. I do have it. What am I talking about? Okay, here it is. I wrote it down. I wrote the pattern down and I was trying to find it in my billions of note cards. Okay, so this is the pattern. This is a knitted hat. And I use size 15 US knitting needles. I'm pretty sure it's the US ad. Look at them. So what I did was I cast it on 20, which is what this was, and then I did the stocking net stitch for 16 rows, which is that up here, and then I did the stocking net decrease for 4 rows, which is that. And then I just cast it off to make this. So that's like the pattern for this right here. And I made a little diagram too So there's that. And the yarn I used is the Yarn Bee Color Splash. This is 45 yards. And I didn't think I'd make the 45 yards, but I still have like a half a ball left. So this is in the colorway Hummingbird. For a second I thought it said the Dialite 01, but I'm like, whoa, okay. This is 100% acrylic. And this is originally $6, but I got it for $1.49 at the big Hobby Lobby yarn sale. So there's that. And excuse me, for the Lion Brand one, I forgot to mention it's originally $7. I got it for $1.74. And this hat might be a little bit too much of big, but we'll see. And this is what the back looks like. It looks like garter stitch. I think I'm getting my names right. Yay! I'm not that good at knit, which is why I'm practicing. I'm gonna be sewing these two together from the sides. So theoretically, this will look like that. But that's one side too. This is another hat. And I like making hats, by the way. This I will talk to you more in a minute. Okay, I just had to get everything situated about that. I'm sorry. Okay, let's get started. By the way, Mom is giving the dog a bath. That's what that noise is in the background. Okay, I might be having to pause it every 5 seconds due to noise in the background. Okay, so let's start. This hat is one of my favorites because it's just the way the color the pooling happened. I don't know if it's called pooling, but just the way the color is, planned. So I did not know this was gonna happen at all. So okay, I'm a little bit aggravated because of that noise in the background. Anyway, so I started off with a light blue, and then, which is cool because it's like the very tip, and then it goes into the main color, which is this like cyanish color, which is awesome, and then it ends up with this, it's not navy blue, but it's this like darker blue for the last like 2 rows, which is so cool because I did not know this was going to happen like this though either. So I find that really interesting, and this is how much I have left. And I used, this was left over from the brunette pop from the purse I made in the color Blue Blaze. Blue Blaze. That sounds very bad. Blue Blaze. I can't talk today. Okay. Now let's talk about another hat I made. These are all hats, by the way, because I love making hats, and I like making hats. This is another Lions Brand landscape, and the color Apple Orchard. As you can tell, I got a lot from that. And this is a hat, and I'm pretty sure this is one of those leftover ones from another hat that I made, I think from the second episode. But this was, again, $6.99, and I got it for $1.74. So yeah, there's a hat. And another hat. This is more of the fluffier side, like the Lions brand Homespun. But this is the Baby Bee Angel Fleece soft fur in the color soft fur. Originally it's $5.99, got it for $1.49. Yeah. And this was left over from a Christmas hat that I made last episode. So yeah, here we go. And my last charity hat is this one. Okay, so this one has another story behind it. Each project has a story behind it, and I just love it. Okay, this one was supposed to be a grown man's hat. This was supposed to be a Christmas present for my step-grandpa. And I have a problem with this hat. I don't know what's wrong with this yarn, because, okay, normally when I increase, like when I increase on this blue hat that I showed you, I increase, what, three rounds. And so I increased 3 rounds again for this one. Same hook size, everything. Way too big. Whoa, I have no idea what happened. It was like huge. So I frogged it, and I just left it with 2 rounds. And then it came out just like a toddler hat. So I might have to mess around with hook sizing. This is just a regular double crochet hat, and I don't know what's going on. But other than the sizing difficulties, the yarn is so beautiful though. Like no matter what it is, you always get shades of blue, and it's so beautiful. And my dog kind of got a hold of the yarn wrapper. But this is Yarn Bee in the color. Wait, in the section Ciobella in the name Violet Meadows. I was trying to be cool there, but that didn't work out. Yeah, Violet Meadows. And this is 108 yards. And this is 77% acrylic and 20% super washable. And 30% polyester, of course. So yeah. I forgot to tell you what the Angel Fleece is made out of. It is made out of 97% acrylic and 30% polyester. I need to get on track with this. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now we're going to be talking about my gift. And this is not charity. Okay, so I made a whole video about this. I dedicated a whole video. Anyway, this is what I got as a gift, I guess. Hooks Over Heels on Instagram. We know each other in real life, IRL, and she made me these items, and I'm not going to go into full detail about them at all. I'm just going to say what they are, and I'm just going to say a couple things about them, and if you want like the full-on details about them, go watch my video called A Special Gift, I'm pretty sure it's called. I'll leave it in the description box below for you if you are really interested about this. So she made me a pair of socks, and those were a little small, so I did block them though, but now they fit perfectly. So these are yellow socks, and I got a wet dog in the background. And I have a purse that she made me, and when she gave it to me, because it wasn't like a sunny thing, I went over to her house and we did an exchange. I exchanged her that dragon pillow, and she gave me these as a surprise gift. But that dragon pillow is actually for her sister though, so that's awesome. When she gave it to me, she said, "Because you're always complaining you need a project bag." And I don't think I complain that much about it, but I guess if she made me something just to shut me up about it, I guess I do complain that much about it, but I love it. And these are 4 squares. I don't know how much I don't know how to describe it because I don't know the pattern she used. And the back is double crochet. And I think this is Caron Simply Soft, because I think I have the same blue here, but this is so awesome. And if you do want her to make you anything, you can ask her on Instagram, and she will be more than happy to make you something. And you guys can work out prices. She can make you these socks, and she can also make you this bag too if you want, in any color you want. And we can be twins. Don't you want to twin with me? So yeah. But if you do have a request from her for her to make you something, I'm pretty sure she'll make you it, just because that's how much she loves. So since I do continental knitting, it's harder for me to purl, and I'm not the only one who that happens for, and none of the videos worked for me. And if you want to see how I do it, let me know. And actually, Hooks Over Heels taught me how to do it the way that I'm doing it right now, and I'm actually like doing it without lifting it over, which is what I was doing for the longest time. So yeah, there's this whole bag in here. Sorry, I'm yawning. It's 11 a.m. Is for the crochet, Crochet Summer Stitch Along 2018 for the Crochet Crowd. And week 4 just got uploaded today, but since I was gone for week 3 and week 2 was a pain in my butt, I'm still on week 2 for both blankets. So this is what I have. I'm like barely starting week 2. Like week 2 is this mint, and I'm gonna work on that today. I'm gonna finish week 2 and week 3, and I want to catch up on this blanket. Like that's my goal. I hope it works. Like, ooh. So yeah, there's this one, and I actually have the colors with me today. The colors that I'm using for this blanket is the Bernat Super Saver. This one's in the color Mint. This middle color is a Bernat Super Saver. Super Value. I'm so used to saying Super Saver from Red Heart. Bernat Super Value in the color Peony Pink, which looks it's basically a coral. So yeah. So we have this one. And then we got another square, which I just rolled up into a ball. Let me get this showed up for you, and then I'll explain more. Okay, so this is the other blanket that I'm doing, and this one's for my mom. And again, week 2 is in gray. And the reason why this is in a ball is because I remember going out to eat for dinner, and I didn't want to bring this whole thing with me. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna roll you into a ball. And I did. The ball's right here. So. And I also wrote down the pattern for week 2 from like my pattern, just like scribbling it down. So that way, I would remember. Week 2 isn't my friend. It's not. I don't get it. Don't know what's wrong with it. But yeah, week 2. And this is Brunette Super Value in the color True Gray. And this purple is Loops and Threads Madrid in the color Merlot. Yeah. I love it. My stomach is crawling. Okay. So yeah, there are these blankets. And the reason why I'm so far behind on them is because I'm doing 2 of them at once. I'm pretty sure that's it. And I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I'm deciding if I should do 1 blanket at a time, or if I should do 1 row at a time on each blanket. So, do row 1 on blanket 1, row 1, blanket 2, row 2 on blanket 1, row 2 on blanket 2, etc. So, I think that's what I'm going to do.
Everyone, so the reason why that this video, well, this part of the video is a little bit different is because this is a gift for my brother, which I do have to give it to him. So I recorded this a little early. So yeah, that's why it's like not in the same, like, you know, video section, whatever. I just added this video in. Okay, so I made him Rubik's Cubes because he is obsessed with them, and they are quite big. So there is green, and this one's a little loose, which I feel bad about. Like on both sides, I made him 2. So we have green. Oh, and these are, I use scraps for this. This is black, I don't know if you can tell or not. This was a scrap project, which worked out really well. So we have green, white, yellow, which this probably isn't looking at yellow, but this is like a bright, vibrant yellow. This is a bright orange. This is like a fox red fox type color. And this is it's called royal blue, but it's basically like the colon cancer blue. And this is looking up really dark. Yeah. And this white is actually an off-white, which is surprising that it's like showing up really white, and that yellow is like, whoa, it's bright. So yeah, I made 2 of them, and these are like little plush toys. And other than the fact that this took me ages, and that I woke up at, well, I went to bed at 4 a.m. just because I got so tired of working on them. It took me that long. I hope it doesn't matter to him that I didn't really care what order the colors are in. And since he's like obsessed with these, I'm sure he's gonna be like, nope, white's in the wrong place. Nope, nope, nope. So just kind of upset about that, you know. But he'll have to deal with it because his loving sister decided to make him something for his birthday. So yeah. I will be now showing you the next, project. So yeah.
Okay, and I also think that's all I have to show you. And other than that, when I was on vacation, I also was with my cousin who I taught how to crochet. And Marley Bird's live. She was making this scrap blanket, and I don't know how to say it. It's these 15 by 15 squares, and I was just calling them gauge swatches, because that's basically what they are. For me, at least. She was using a 6mm hook, and she crochets very tightly. Me, on the other hand, I crochet not too tight, not too loose. I crochet just right. And I had to go down to a 5mm crochet hook just to meet her, just to match the gauge. So here's this. So this is a sneak peek of my Instagram. I love to crochet 101. I gave her my scraps of yarn, so we were making squares. So yeah. And I wrote, my cousin and I have been making single crochet gauge swatches for a blanket that she's making. I find that very helpful since I'm quite slow at crocheting single crochets compared to a double. So this is good practice, and it was good practice as well. And I went to go. So yesterday I asked her if I went to go ask her a question about the squares, and I was gonna say I had a bunch of mini scraps from the hats that was left, and I wasn't gonna make a whole hat. I mean, a whole square. So I was going to ask her if it would be okay if some squares were multicolored. And I was like, hey, I have a question about the squares. Like, message me back when you get a chance. And she messaged me like, hey, I forgot to tell you, I'm switching to another blanket. And I want to do this all by myself, and it's with certain yarns, and she was basically kicking me out. So, I'm like, okay, that's okay. Like, I have a lot of stuff I need to do anyway. I just wanted to be nice about it, and so that's what I did. I didn't make a big deal out of it, because it's not a big deal at all. I was just being nice, because that's what family does, and I do wish her the best of luck on that blanket. And I do wish everyone the best of luck on their, on their crochet deadlines that they're doing, and all of their wonderful crochets and knitting as well. So yeah, let me know what setup you like the best with the camera wise. So each of my 3 podcasts have been recorded differently. My first one was recorded I'm just going to use my phone as an example, like this, and I just worked it right here. And in the second episode, my tablet was up against something, and I was holding the tablet, and I was doing the thing with one hand. This episode, I'm recording on my laptop, so I can use both hands freely, which I find is the best advantage, but I know that the video quality isn't as well as it could be, and I know the sound might be a little different as well, so just let me know what you find the best. Thank you for watching the Crochet Lovers Crochet Podcast episode number 3, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.